Welcome back, everyone. I'm Lana, and today we are looking at the 90s classic Home Alone, written by John Hughes, directed by Chris Columbus, and starring Macaulay Culkin, Daniel Stern, Joe Pesci, and Catherine O'Hara. When this hit back in the 90s, it was a cultural phenomenon. Macaulay Culkin's face was everywhere. TV ads, billboards, they even made a video game out of it, although not a very good one. People were making parodies of this or straight up copying the formula for themselves. It did eventually spawn a sequel, which tried so hard to recapture the exact magic of the first one that, like a wet bandit, it fell completely on its face. It being the holidays, I decided to go back and revisit this film from my childhood and see if it still holds up with my adult goggles on. And just a heads up, this is a spoiler-filled review, so if you did somehow miss this back in the 90s, it's not too late. Home Alone is streaming on Disney+, and as a bonus, it is not Star Wars. As a kid, I often fantasized about what life would be like if my family just disappeared. I mean, what kid hasn't? In reality, I would be totally helpless and vulnerable, and that fear has actually evolved into girl alone at the house horror genre, which is actually my favorite. But anyway, I imagined it would be nothing but fun, awesome times, and watching Kevin try to hold down the fort in the absence of his parents was incredibly entertaining. He goes from eating junk food for dinner to jumping on the bed and using his stairs as a sled ramp to doing a little bit of adulting, going grocery shopping, doing laundry, and practicing what must be for the first time adult grooming. The whole Midwest upper-class Christmas house. The first scenes convey the utter chaos you would feel living in a family that size during the holidays. Just imagining myself as a McCallister parent putting together a trip this large to Paris for all of these kids just stressed me out. I'm surprised they didn't forget more kids. I mean, the one with the glasses, that kid's just begging to get lost. Macaulay Culkin. He can go from the most annoying little kid to the sweetest little angel. He is so expressive and articulate. I really felt that childlike wonder in so many of these scenes, like the one where he is being told about the murderous neighbor keeping bodies in a trash can, believing he willed the disappearance of his family with a simple Christmas wish, and his fear of the Jim Henson animated furnace in the basement. We all have that one thing in our house that we were afraid of, right? The Wet Bandits. These two have fantastic chemistry. Joe Pesci is the perfect straight man for Daniel Stern's doe-eyed stupidity. They have this calling card where they flood the houses that they've been robbing, hence the Wet Bandits, and watching them piece together the mystery of are the McCallisters home or aren't they, give us such memorable scenes such as the Christmas party, which if you recall is just a bunch of cardboard cutouts and mannequins dancing behind the shades, cleverly orchestrated by Macaulay Culkin. The side characters. Everything from the old man with a shovel to John Candy's Polka King.
Polka, polka.
Oh, these are songs.
Yeah.
To the Santa in his old jalopy. As a kid, I felt like these characters were a little far-fetched, but as an adult, I've seen weirder, and they actually led credibility to the story.
Larry, can you pick up? There's some lady on hold, sounds kind of hyper.
The music. What really elevates this movie is the score from the John Williams. From the very beginning, the slow zoom on the house logo sets a very dark fantasy tone that kind of gives me a Christmas Carol vibes. It just grabs hold of you and it never lets go. From the Wet Bandits theme to the more lively Kevin setting up his house with booby traps montage to the soothing sounds of the child's choir. The score makes this movie way more epic than it should be. The John Hughes stamp. This really felt like Ferris Bueller's Day Off for kids. Although not as amazing as that, you do get those signature John Hughes sprinkles throughout. Besides the fact that it is set in Chicago, you have people lip syncing to old songs, you have those perfect snapshots of nuanced family bonds, and of course, a nice warm, sappy ending. The man was an icon. As a kid, the last act with the bandits was the whole movie to me. Kevin came off as a total mastermind, rigging his entire house in a way that a kid would really never think to do, and everything goes off without a hitch. Like superheating a doorknob or rigging up a torch to activate upon entry? What kid would be competent enough to pull this off? The iron when it hits Marv in the face and leaves a burn imprint? Like, was it on? That's something kid me would never wonder. As an adult, I do wonder what a real take of this movie would be like. How would a kid handle this scenario? Probably not well. As far as the family goes, Kevin's mom really does most of the heavy lifting, and I really wish we got to see more between Kevin and his other family members. I'm sure it was crazy wrangling all those kids for the opening scenes, but with a cast of so many young, talented actors, including Macaulay Culkin's own real-life younger brother on the set, I would have just loved to see more interaction between them.
You're what the French call les incompetents. What?
We get a lot of really great stuff between him and Buzz.
Don't you know how to knock phlegm wad?
But with one of the Petes from Pete and Pete and the girl from Cool as Ice, use them. There aren't many things I dislike about Home Alone. Although as a kid, I do recall it being more action-packed than it really is. But as an adult, I really appreciate this movie from start to finish, especially in this day and age where you really just can't go around blowtorching strangers in kids' movies anymore. So, does Home Alone hold up? It absolutely does. It was a box office hit and a cultural sensation for a reason. Sure, it was a little far-fetched and maybe overly sappy at times, but isn't that the true essence of Christmas? What are your thoughts on Home Alone? Is Kevin a little trout sniffer? What would your burglar calling card be? Let me know in the comments below, and if you like this video, please like and subscribe, show it to your friends, turn on notifications. It makes all the difference, and I really appreciate it. See you next time. Either ho, there, you're as welcome as can be. Welcome, no, hi, no, this is the first sentence. Did I get all those words right? You know? Keep forgetting their names! Chaos, I tell you! The first one was fine! Oh god, I just realized how many bloopers I just created.